little late. I'm quite ill today, but I'm still very happy to be doing this live show. I got a sickness from my daughter, but today we will be talking about Sasquatch, like we always do. That's the my area of expertise. I'm a wilderness backcountry expedition expert. I've spent well over 3,000 days in the wilderness backcountry, either guiding people half the time or alone by myself. And when I say wilderness backcountry, I mean up in Canada, which is the Great White North, where we have grizzly bears, black bears, mountain lions, bear, elk, deer, wolves, very healthy populations of these amazing animals, wolverines, very virtually no snake populations. Although I've been trained, I find the ecologies as you move from Canada down to Montana, Idaho, Washington State. Washington State is very similar to British Columbia. Montana is very similar to, and the areas around Montana, like Idaho, are very similar to Alberta, where I was born and raised. Born and raised in Alberta and British Columbia. So I'm a Western Canadian. Um, Very proud to be. Western Canadians are a very unique built people. Good day, Paul. Thank you very much for tuning in. And yeah, so I have a tremendous amount of wilderness experience. And when I say backcountry wilderness experience, that's when I've been leading expeditions or I've been out alone. Of course, I grew up hunting and tracking with my father. Um, it was just part of my culture, part of my background. My uncle, one of my uncles, was also a good hunter, and yeah, I've been trained by the Cree, been trained by the Makah people, been trained by the Blackfoot, been trained by Nakota, been trained by Survivorman, been trained by Dr. John Bitternagel, wildlife biologist, Dr. Jeff Meldrum. I'm a student of all these great men and many more, if there's some people that I forgot. Even in truth, a great deal of my expeditioners that come out really, everybody adds little bits and pieces to the discovery process, to my knowledge. Even some of the lessons that I learned that are absolutely wonderful is what not to do. So few and far between, but it definitely does happen. And so I'll be answering questions regarding the topic of Sasquatch today. I guess I have an announcement. This is really new, and it's kind of exciting for me. So if you, I'm sure many of you have seen the movie Discovering Bigfoot. The only surviving person from that production is Todd Standing. So the great late Dr. John Bitternagel, wildlife biologist, PhD, has passed away quite a few years ago. A definitive personal father figure to me. The late great Dr. Jeff Meldrum, uh, a professor of anatomy and anthropology from Idaho State University, has passed away this year. And my concern with these great men is who's taking up their work. It's of mass important to me that the hardships that I've been through, those mistakes are not made again. When I can put people up on my shoulders and rise them up to a new level and have them move more successfully towards the discovery process, that's immensely important to me. Expeditions with me are really that, where I'm teaching and learning from people, and we're out there definitively working towards the discovery process. It's massive. It's everything. It's everything to me. It's my whole life's pursuit. I'm a full-time Sasquatch researcher, and my life's pursuit is dedicated to this discovery process 100%. So why am I telling you all this? Because uh, over the past few years, I've been working a great deal with Kyle. Kyle is American. He's from New York State. He'll be featured in the documentary, which is coming out in April. My apologies for the tardiness of the documentary. I just, I take on way too much, and not enough is being done through the discovering Bigfoot process because I try to do so much myself. And I do get a great deal of help, and I'm very grateful for all the help that I get from so many people. And I do get a lot of help, and I really appreciate that. But so I can officially announce I am booking expeditions with Kyle this year. So Kyle's only taking out 2 people at a time on his expeditions. On Kyle's expeditions, I'll be starting them and he'll be finishing them as well. Kyle will be coming out and Kyle will be picking people up at the airport, which is something that takes usually like a day and a half. He'll be stopping to buy groceries with people and taking them out to the research site and acclimating them to the area before I get out there. So uh, what did that have to do with bringing up Dr. Benernagel and Jeff Meldrum? Well, I'm teaching Kyle, like I teach all my expeditioners, but I'm teaching Kyle everything about what I do, and we're expanding now. So me personally, I was only able to take out 33 expeditioners a year on 11 expeditions. That's the maximum I could do. I can never do more than that. I will not take out more than 3 people on an expedition, sometimes two, sometimes one. I do private expeditions, but that's really max that I'm capable of. And the only reason I can do 33 is I go to Nia Bay every year and do an expedition there. Otherwise, I would just do 10. Now, with the addition of Kyle coming full bore, I'm literally, I've booked expeditions for him already. And with his assistance, with him taking on the first day of expedition for me, picking people up at the airport, and then coming back to the offices and continuing on the work day to day with videos and talking to people and all that kind of stuff that I do on a regular basis, the discovery not only expands, but when my time has come, Kyle is the first to really take up my work. And I'm expecting that soon Kyle will pick somebody up. Kyle is still young. He isn't even 30 yet. I think he's like 25. He's quite young, but he's devoted to this discovery process, and it seems to be at this point he will very soon become a full-time Sasquatch researcher under my guidance, under my tutorials, and the whole process of what I do is so important. I've spent a decade really mastering how to get people out into an area safely. My safety record is 100%, in case you're not aware. I've literally taken out, with like including television shows, directors, producers, all, and then expeditioners, over 100 individuals out into the backcountry wilderness, and they've all come home safe. So, and that includes Survivorman and his crew. Remember, I was the local guide and I was responsible for everybody's safety. If anything ever happened to anybody, it's entirely on my shoulders, 100%. And we have always come back safely. And this is the harshest habitat. There are significant numbers of black bears, grizzly bears, mountain lions, wolverines, wolves. Like it's dangerous territory. Avalanches. We're in the mountains. You know, people could get lost and stuff like that. So literally with a record of 100%. It's because I'm doing a lot of things taught mostly by people that have been here for tens of thousands of years, which are the Cree and the Nakota and the Blackfoot. So, and now even leading into the Macaw people in Nia Bay and Washington State, all my teachers teaching me so much. So we're having tremendous success, and I want to make sure that you know I do the best I can with taking on what Jeff Meldrum and John Benernagel worked for. I truly am a student of theirs, but to the way Jeff was very theoretical, I'm not able to devote myself to the theory and to do seminars and shows like him because I'm out in the bush, boots on the ground. Really, that's where it needs to get done. We're not going to be in labs. We're not going to be having discussions and getting the discovery finished. I appreciate the discussions. I appreciate the theory wholeheartedly. I'm a massive part of it, and I do enjoy them. But I am 90% committed to being boots on the ground. So that you can understand now, starting with the addition of Kyle, all the people I've trained too, so many people that I've trained and are out there doing great things. But this is another level where Kyle has really become part of the discovering Bigfoot process in that he will be guiding people on expeditions. He will know. I mean, I show everything I can to every expeditioner, but Kyle will literally be doing what people refer to as research. And I don't know if you really understand what research is until you're out in the woods and you go down the wolf trail 20 times a year. You go down the elk trail 20 times a year. You know that what was like in June, what happened in August, if there was anything in August, now there's a tree break there, it wasn't there in September, now it's there in October. That's research over and over and over. That's what gets things done, is redoing them, boots on the ground, out there in the ecology, up to here, working towards this discovery process. What are the elk out? What are the deer doing? How come there's moose over here? Where are they moving to? What bear comes through what time of year? How I have to deal with things. There's 1,000 things we deal with. How to keep people safe with food and feeding them while keeping them, you know, healthy and still out there enough to, take some risks and go deep backcountry. So all this is going to get passed on, not just to my expeditioners now, which has happened, but also to a particular individual, Kyle. And Kyle will start training people in the next 5 years. I will take Kyle will literally, in probably 3 years, be off doing the goal. I'm going to tell you guys everything. I'm not holding anything back. The goal is Kyle wants to go to Montana. Montana is where I filmed video 2 and video 3. I would love to have him down there in Montana with a Discovering Bigfoot Research Center. Wouldn't that be amazing? When Kyle goes off to do that, he'll take on somebody he'll train, and then I'll have somebody else come up underneath me. This is a process. It's never going to end. You understand the expansion of this? We needed this. I want you all to be excited about this major life decision, especially for me, because once I get people helping out, people involved, people, full time doing this work, it will really start to expand. And it's very exciting for me to have this opportunity. I've been slow about it, very slow, very conservative about it. I've been wanting to do this for years, and it's come to fruition. I'm very excited about it. So that's the announcement for today. So someone, Boggy Creek Monster here. Hello, Shadow Guardian the Mountain and Boggy Creek Monster. Thank you for tuning in today. How's the interaction with Bigfoot been going lately? Well, nothing. This year is over for me for Boots on the Ground. It's work in on post production. I'm doing YouTube videos regularly. I'm answering questions with people. I'm preparing expeditions for next year. So I have lists of people that I'm talking to, and organizing expeditions. So now I don't even know what the number is. It's going to be, instead of 33 people for next year because of Kyle's assistance, it'll probably be around 50 people I'll be able to take out this year, which is a huge improvement. I'm very, very excited about that. And yes, that's what's been going on lately. It's just and it's a tremendous amount of work for me to do expeditions. To organize them takes months, at least 3 months for me to organize all the expeditions, from all the work that I have to do. It's a significant amount of work to organize for the year. And then once that's done, I have the documentary to work on, and another documentary to work on, the predecessor to Discovering Bigfoot Part 2, and just all the networking and other massive amounts of things I have to do. I stay very busy. So hello from Albany, Tim Fisher. Thank you for tuning in today. So this is Barry Holmes. Do you think the tree structures dictate the amount of limbs, how many creatures are in the tribe? Just curious. I don't think so. I say that because in Nordegg, I had at least 23 individuals in that troop, and the structures never had more than 6 different branches on them. But maybe you could say each tree that was bent into it, not limbs, but there are trees that are bent in, right? So maybe each tree that was bent in represented a clan. So if you said there's 6 times 4, so I had 23 approximately, I'd say plus or minus 5 individuals. So I'd say between 20 and 25 individuals uh, would be quite accurate with my assessment. That would mean with 6 busted in trees, and let's say you average 4 individuals per family, average 6 times 4 is 24. So we're on track for that. But I just don't know. That's entirely. It's actually such speculation. I would give it no credence. It's way too far fetched. I just don't have any knowledge to substantiate that at all. Um, yeah, I don't. I just simply don't know. So way out there. Good day, Mr. Penner. Thank you for tuning in, sir, today. Appreciate that. Hello, James. And James is an example too. James did an expedition last year. So who knows what's going to happen this year? So we're just taking it step by step. James is a massive part of my life. Uh, you'll understand that this is really there's a business to this, but the business comes probably like third on my list. And I tell you what's first. It's very personal. The relationships I have with Paul, who's on here today, right? With James, with Kyle that I was talking about. I mean, just everybody. David Avocado Wolf that comes out here every year. The repeat expeditioners, that it's very personal, and it has to be that way because it's what is demanded of this kind of work. You have to be telepathic. You have to be open. You have to and with this work, and what I've learned is it'll reflect. If you come out hiding and deceptive, when you hide things, when you're not telling the truth, you're being deceptive, aren't you? You're not being as transparent as you could be. And if you're not being transparent and open, the telepaths who are Sasquatch will not be interested in working with you because it's deceitful. You're dishonest. It just flows that way. So we are very, very personal. I expect. I mean, when I tell you I have 60 expeditioners that I've taken out into the wilderness, it's just over 60, approximately 60. I have very personal relationships with all of them. All these people mean a great deal to me, and it's never going to change. I will always be like that. It starts with the business a little bit. You gotta expeditions cost money. You have to make a financial investment, but that's just fair because man, I've put everything into this, and my expeditioners know it. This is my whole life. You know, the day I get one of my videos on YouTube goes viral and gets 10 million views and makes $1 million, it goes right back into this discovery process, 100%. And if you really want to look to see what I would consider integrity in any human being that's working towards this discovery process, you'll see it in their actions. My whole life is Sasquatch. My whole life is this discovery process. I mean, it's the second most important thing in my life, period. Next, underneath my two beautiful children. I am a single father, and my children are, of course, number one. Family's number one for me, and Sasquatch is number two. And that, I think that says a lot about what this discovery means to me. So, because I'm an enormous family guy, I'm ape shit crazy about my children, about my amazing sister, my mother, my nieces and nephews, and the amazing people in my life are my family members are so incredibly, immensely important to me. So, and I don't think I would have any success with Sasquatch if I wasn't that way. If I'm Because I understand they are devoted to their tribe and their family, devoted to it. So you understand how that reflects. They can understand me better and they can appreciate me better because the Sasquatch I'm dealing with is a father or has a great relationship with his father or loves their parents. And that's something I see in the research definitively is they have a deep devotion to one another, second to like nothing I've ever seen. Like, wolves are like that, I guess. So it's wonderful to see that. And it's very important. So what do we got here? Mr. Penner, Julie, good day, Julie. Um, Shadowgun in the Mountains. I think tree structures may come from copying native teepees. Well, you know what? Actually, that's a great theory, Shadow Guardian of the Mountain, but I disagree with you. I would say, if anything, the Sasquatch are teaching this to the natives. Remember, the term Sasquatch means wild teacher or wild master. So when the natives are always referring to the Sasquatch in such reverence, boss of the mountain, shadow guardian of the mountain, when they speak in reverence like that about them, it's because they're being taught and they are, the Sasquatch are their teachers. So it would likely be the reverse, I would say. Footprints analysis is huge and going to be missed. That's Dr. Meldrum's footprint analysis. Yeah, but what he did can never be undone. And he did get some finality. Remember, he had the feet accepted in Zoobank as legitimate footprints of a North American species. So it's what he did was huge. And I remember where I was. Like, that was such a pivotal moment in my life. I remember where I was, what I was doing. I was so excited when Jeff had that done. In case you don't know, Jeff Meldrum had other PhDs sign off on the validity of the Sasquatch's track being of an indigenous species that currently survives there. So he currently survives in North America, which is huge. It was a massive success, and I'm super proud of him for having that done. One of his great life's accomplishments, I believe. So Maverick says, "I wish I believed." Well, what's it going to take, Maverick? I mean, have you seen the foot evidence? Have you seen the dermal ridge analysis by Jimmy Chilcott? Have you seen the photographs? Listen to me very carefully, Maverick. I take people out, and the number at the end of this year is 36 human beings have eyewitnessed the Sasquatch under my guidance. Okay, so if I showed up in a court of law with DNA that is of an unknown hominid species, I have that. It's done. Paleo DNA. It's sitting right on my desk. So if I show up to a murder where we're accusing someone of a murder and I have DNA to substantiate they committed the murder, I have dermal ridges, tracks, 36 witnesses under my guidance that would say they've seen Sasquatch, photographs, videos of Sasquatch. And at the end of it all, at the end of all the evidence that is so far beyond a reasonable doubt, Listen to what I'm saying. Don't take my word for it. Come out with me and I will show you a Sasquatch. Did it 36 times. You don't think I can do it again? I did it in my movie with a professor from Idaho State University, Dr. Meldrum. I did it in my movie. And with evidence, I convinced Dr. John Benernagel that my photographs are indeed actually, as he put it, portraits of a Sasquatch's face, in his words. So, and he said he was firmly convinced. What else do I have to do? Who else do I have to take out? What is it going to take before people are going to believe? So, I think at this point, when you really truly look at the evidence and what I alone have to offer, if this doesn't convince you, if I don't know what to say, you have my sympathies because you cannot. I'm not going to be nice about it and be honest with you. Some people just can't see the forest through the trees, and the truth evades them, and you have my sympathy. Sincerely, you do. So, hello, Chris. Hello, Jeffrey. Todd. Good day. 2026. Yeah. I'm happy about 2026. I'm ready for it. I've loved 2025. I'm not done with 2025 yet. Things are going fantastic, but yeah, always excited about the future. Maverick getting out into nature is a start. Absolutely. Even like my goodness. So, greetings to the mods. Hello, Andy. Thank you very much for tuning in today, Andy. Appreciate you having you here. Listening from St. Gustafson. Thank you for tuning in, Matt and Donna. Appreciate having you here. I live in the wild and I love nature. Oh, well, it's funny because I tell you, people. So these wilderness experts that I work with, like Survivor Man. If you watch the first year with Survivor Man, I took him out to Nordegg. You know, he is a wilderness expert. He didn't know much, if anything, about the reality of Sasquatch. He'd maybe had one encounter in his whole life after all the time he'd spent out there. Actually, two encounters. But um, when I started showing him all the little things, and he started going, "That's Sasquatch? That's Sasquatch?" There's actually a moment in the show where you hear him say, "I've heard this before. This isn't the first time." That's what happens when I work with people that have significant amount of wilderness experience. Is they go, "This has been Sasquatch. They've been doing this the whole time. They've been talking to me." You literally can't see the forest through the trees if you don't have at least an openness to the truth and to the possibility of this miracle being real. It doesn't matter. I've seen people say the stupidest things. Oh, I saw a bear running on two legs. It had its face chopped off and its ears were what? Mickey didn't see a bear. It was a Sasquatch. What the hell? Like a flat-faced bear with ears on the side of its head instead of on the top that was running on two legs in big strides. Must have had two broken front legs, except they look like arms. Like you hear the most ridiculous thing. I remember being out in Nordegg, and it had snowed, and I'm on expedition. The snow's melting, and this kid drives out and bumps into me way out in the middle of nowhere. This kid's a nature photographer. His dad's a stolid non-believer in Sasquatch. There's no such thing as Sasquatch, right? So I'm talking to him, and the dad's a real jerk about there's no Sasquatch, no Sasquatch. And then the kid says, "Hey, and look at these, Todd." And he shows me pictures of a Sasquatch trackway in 3 feet of snow. And I went, "Where did that happen?" He goes, "Oh, we just saw that down the road, uh, you know, about 10 miles down the road." And I went, "We got to go there." And the guy's like, "Why?" I go, "What do you think that is?" And he goes, "This is what he said." Not even kidding. He said, "I think it's a guy with big sandals on and stilts with about a 300-pound backpack walking through the godless hella middle of nowhere in the wilderness." And you got to go, "What? You think?" Because, okay, so he knew the feet were huge, that no man could have feet that big. No animal has that. It's bipedal. It's footprints, okay? So no human being has feet that big, right? This is a fresh trackway. No human being could walk that stride distance. So the big feet are sandals. How dumb is that? That's just dumb. I mean, that's stupid, right? That's the ignorance of how preposterous people can't get past their paradigm. Then the guy's wearing stilts. Why would you be wearing big, giant, heavy sandals? That doesn't make any sense with freaking stilts, walking in 3 feet of snow. Then the last critique of it all. Guy had to be wearing like a 400-pound backpack because the steps were so heavy and deep and long and large footed. No human being could walk in stilts, could walk even any distance with a 300-pound backpack. You idiot. It's a Sasquatch. I don't even know how to talk to people like that. Like, are you mentally disturbed? Why would you say something so idiotic? And then fourthly, he's in the gut. Where did he go? He came from nothingness There's nothing but 100 miles of bush that way. And you see the trackway come out, go across this middle of hell nowhere road where there's nothing, and go back into nothingness. Why would someone be doing that with stilts and sandals and a backpack that weighed 300 pounds? And you know, the truth was, he was even wrong, because that's a 900 pounds. So if a human being is, let's say a human is huge, he's 300 pounds, he's got a 300-pound backpack, that's not heavy enough. He'd have to have this is 900 pounds we're talking. 3 and 3 is 6. Do your math. He'd have to have a 600-pound backpack if he's a 300-pound man. I mean, how do you talk to people that are this completely will not see the freaking forest through the trees? It's frustrating, right? You just don't. I didn't want to talk to them. I'm wasting my time, because when you can't see the truth, when it's slapped right in your face, I can't help you. I can't. There's nothing you're completely parched and you need water. I led you to water and you got to drink it, and I can't do nothing about it, and they won't. So it's absolutely wow, amazing for me. So yeah, that's what I have to say about that. So yeah, and there's people, Julie and Paul are talking and stuff. That's all cool. And you know what I can hear a little bit in this Maverick. I'd love to see one. Well, you won't until you open up your mind to the truth. This is what will set you free. I just did this. I just talked on an expedition to these expeditioners, this group of new people. They're former stuntmen. Isn't that cool? They're doing other jobs right now. It's a crew of, like, with stuntmen. They all hang out. They left stuntman work because they're getting older. But so a crew of stuntmen. One of them, so there's four of them coming out with me on an expedition. One of them's a complete non-believer, and I agreed to take them, but I have to make the agreement with the non. Two of them have actually seen the Sasquatch. One is convinced of the evidence, and the third one doesn't think they exist. And I'm okay to take him out as long as he comes out with a wholehearted devotion to learning about the truth. Whatever you think, whatever you feel, all those kind of things, I don't give rat's ass. Cool. Just come out here. If you want to know the truth, look at my photos, look at my videos. And if you want to find out what the truth is, you really want to know, come on an expedition with me. And I can tell people that confidently because that was Todd standing. I said they couldn't exist. I was going to prove within science they can't exist. That's how I started this. But the truth is, I am devoted to the truth. That's what matters to me more than anything. And I went looking for the truth. And as much as I tried to skew myself, as much as I tried to deny their existence, because it's such a damn miracle. That's why Maverick and people have trouble believing it's a freaking miracle they exist. At this point, the only way they could exist is they are absolutely miraculous. And that is the answer. That is the truth. They're that good. So that's how you break the paradigm. Look for the truth, man, and you'll find it. Bigfoot live stream. Hey, Todd. Oh, hey. How's it go, bud? Booms, that's Logan, right? Good day, Logan. So I'm going out to the research site on snowmobiles this weekend. So I'm doing some recon. I'll be doing snowmobiling expeditions out there. Oh, yeah. I think that's going to be goddamn fun. I'm going to be able to go places I never went before on snowmobiles. So it's going to be absolutely fantastic. I'm very excited, especially because I went and put the word out with other people in the area, and there have been winter Sasquatch tracks discovered. Ooh. So I'm going to go looking for Sasquatch tracks in the wintertime, and it's going to actually help answer a massive amount of questions, because I expect to be going out there at least once a month. So if you're interested, all I'm going to be doing is I also might go to Nordegg, because Nordegg is so goddamn enormous. I could go forever back in the Nordegg areas on those old trails. So if you're interested, so the expeditions that I am going to do for sure, it'll be 2 or 3 days here in Canada, and it'll be one day we'll do a snowmobile expedition in the backcountry, and then the next day we'll do a really cool hike in Johnson Canyon and Lake Louise, and that'll be the expedition. So that'll be what I do. I won't do 2 days straight of snowmobiling. We'll just do one huge day, maybe maybe a 3/4 of a day and then a half day too. I'm not sure how it's going to work out, but it'll be just we'll just do some nice, awesome loops in the area and go check out the whole beautiful spot. I'm really excited to see it in the winter. and do some winter research like I've never done before. So in the past, I have done winter snowmobiling out there many like a decade ago, but I was just in a different set of a different mindset, and I didn't know the trails like I do now. I probably know 3 times as many trails as I did back then. And I just have a better idea of how to do them, so that's pretty exciting. World Creations, hello, my friend. Thank you for coming in today. Hey, Todd, what was the most profound thing you discovered this year? Oh, man, I learned so many lessons. Like I could make a top 10 list of the most profound things just pop into my head. So amazing. Um, I'll just pick one at random. I can't say what's the best, but I think it was amazing on Brad's expedition. So there was this. We go to ice bath in a certain area, and we've had Sasquatch come to that area now. They've made some tree breaks there. They've tossed some rocks in the river from the other side of the river where we ice bath at. No human beings go there. There was a structure that was made this year that's absolutely astonishing. What really blew my mind, it was a discovery, but it wasn't just the discovery, it was how it happened. So Brad came out with his daughter, and his daughter is not really much into Sasquatch. She's out there because her dad's passionate. He's been out coming out with me for many years. He's a fantastic colleague, and I'm really happy to have him as an expeditioner. And so there's a beautiful limestone that looks almost kind of like a foot, sort of, but not really. And it was placed on our pathway in to go ice bathing. It's just not far from a cool tree break as well, obviously done by Sasquatch. But I didn't know what the hell it was doing there. It's been there for a couple of years. But I mentioned it to Brad's daughter as we're walking in, and she goes, "Oh!" And then just like Sasquatch gets right into her head, she walks right over maybe 50 yards over to the river's edge and picks up the other half of the stone and walks back and goes, this is what happened. This is the other half of the stone." So, and what I mean is like it was it it's been broken in half, and one half's here, and the other half was over on the beach. She went back, and when you put them together, they fit perfectly, which really ends the doubt of a Sasquatch. Obviously, put that there, but no human being put that there for sure. Other human beings don't go there. None of my expeditioners did that. They couldn't. I would have seen it, and they mind spoke to her the other half successfully, and she was able to. They've probably been mind speaking that to me for a couple of years. I didn't hear it. She heard it clear as day, walked right over, picked it up right where the Sasquatch were in her head telling her to pick it up, and it was spectacular to have witnessed that. And you must understand that stuff like that happens often. Like, I don't mean once in a while. I mean it happens often, where the Sasquatch will mind speak with people, and we'll get this success. It was impossible without that mind speak. So probably had mind speak like that about a good 10, 15 times this year. Just the most incredible things have happened. So that's just one on my list of, I can think of 10 other things: stones that were given to us, structures that were made, lessons that we learned, sightings that we had. It was so much. It was just absolutely outstanding this year. I'm very happy with it, with the expeditioners and their success. So Tim Halford says, "Hey Todd, know the government knows about them. Yes. Do you think it'll be just dangerous for the Bigfoot to really disclose? No. And that would be hunted? No. None of that's going to happen. You can't hunt these individuals. They're explain something to you. I can't find other human beings anymore that have my level of tracking and wilderness experience. It just, they don't exist. There's not natives. I've met tribal elders and trackers. They can't hold a candle to me. I'm that elite. Really, even in the native community, the trackers aren't doing tracking anymore. They don't care about their heritage. They've dropped it. They don't give two shits about it. It's very sad to see that the old customs of the old native trackers are all gone. My teacher, when he died, 10 years ago now, maybe, when he passed away, there'll never be a tracker at his level. I'll never be able to reach his level of tracking skills. I don't think. I'd like to. Maybe I will. Who knows? But there's just nobody like that anymore. And why am I telling you that? Because me working with the most elite, like, level military tracker hunters, the best in the world, I work with and will continue to work with. And We literally are like 2 levels below the Sasquatch. They're just so elite. They never leave the wilderness. They're born and raised there. They have natural abilities. They have telepathy. They're far more intelligence in the working moment that we are. If you understand working intelligence, like we can't hold a candle to these guys. They are significantly superior to the best human outdoor wilderness tracking experts alive. I'm talking about me and the people that I work with. So you can't hunt them. You're never going to get up on them ever. They can read the squirrels, the birds, the ecology. They know when the wind's going to shift. They have levels of understanding and skill that are I couldn't. So let me put it this way. Like if I was talking levels, let's try to do this. Normal domesticated human being doesn't know anything about the wilderness. Someone who has some decent good experience, a really good high level tracker. Then you get a space. Then you get me. Decades of experience and knowledge and understanding. Then there's going to be a little space. Then you're going to get the native people that have trained me, that are spent their whole lives, connected to nature, tracking, using their survival skills. Then you get a space. Then you get Sasquatch. Maybe even one more space. It's so elite. So I'm trying to explain to people down here about something that's up here, and you understand that there's no way I can't communicate with normal domesticated people. They won't understand these levels. I mean, there's just such a separation, and the best hunters and trackers in the world are going to be a step below me. How are they going to do something I couldn't achieve? I couldn't shoot and kill a Sasquatch. Like I couldn't shoot one if I wanted to. If I ever in if some miracle ever happened where I did shoot one, which is impossible, and I don't use that word lightly. If I shot one, they would kill me in retaliation. I would never live. Never mind take the body out. I mean, come on. They're devoted to one another. So you just have to trust me. The layers of impossible, it's just not going to ever happen. People are just not going to hunt and shoot Sasquatch. It's not going to happen. Not if they wanted to. And when you learn about the species, you won't want to. So just it's as simple as that. Royal Creations, greetings, Sasquatch research family and fellow mod squad. Thank you very much, my friend, today. And greetings to everybody as Royal Creations has done. Expo British Columbia. Why do you call yourself that? Hi, Todd from British Columbia. I was at Expo 86 in British Columbia. Some of the best times of my life were at Expo 86. I wonder if that's what he's from. Tim Hartford, and possibly used wrong ways because of what they are. I don't know what that means. Julie's saying hello to everybody. Hey, Todd. Hey, Ramboy. Rogue Wolfblades. Hey, Todd. Can you tell us about the first encounter that you had with Bigfoot and why it propelled you into the passion? Thanks. Well, I talk about it a lot. Just the footage that I got. That's, I guess, the first encounter, the first success I had. Growing up, I probably bumped into them a lot and just was completely ignorant and denied having any knowledge or ability of them. But we've talked about that a lot. I feel like that topic's been beaten to death. Um, yeah, I just it was video 2 was the first experience I had, and just but I will mention this. I know for a fact. I understand the paradigm shift and how powerful it is. Like I had headaches about this kind of paradigm shift when I had to say when I had to say Sasquatch is real. I used to get headaches, and I felt like I was lying in the beginning. And I know if I would have taken a lie detector test, I'd have failed because I knew it was true logically, but I couldn't get it through the rest of me to understand that that's real. It was just because at the time I was so ignorant to telepathy, to spirituality, to the absolute enormity of this discovery process of how many layers and levels it is that I understand now of how advanced and amazing these beings are. So that was probably a massive part of the cognitive dissonance of me just saying it can't be, but it is, but it is, but it can't, but it is, but it can't. So now I'm very comfortable with it. And in truth, if people are just complete non-believers, I'm very non-sympathetic. I'm just like, I don't really, the evidence is beyond a reasonable doubt. Just go have a look at it. And if you really look at the detractors, they're just real assholes about it. They just say the most asshole. Wow, you have to be 8 to think stuff like that. Really, They, oh, I believed in Bigfoot, the Patterson film, but then I turned 9 and I grew out of that stupidity, and I don't believe in Santa Claus either. Like, those aren't arguments. That's just besmirching and disrespecting and belittling people. Understand? Like, when you go to a native elder, like a Cree elder, who spent most of his life in the bush and he knows Sasquatch is real, and you belittle him and disrespect him like that, not knowing that this, not having any respect or appreciation for what this person's been through and who trained him and taught him the reality of wilderness and nature and Sasquatch. It's so goddamn disrespectful. It's unbelievable that people can have that kind of audacity. Like, it's completely narcissistic, lifeless, like weak, pathetic. Like, you can't, you know, I don't know. It's just it's unbelievable. You don't go to your heart surgeon who spent decades studying medicine and is elite level surgeon who's going to do heart surgery on you and belittle and disrespect his knowledge and his experience and his understanding. You're an idiot. The guy's going to do heart surgery on you. Shut your mouth and let him do his job. And that's not even really a fair comparison, because a heart surgeon, has he spent his whole life since he was born? I mean, since he could walk, understanding heart surgery? No. Studying it? No. You could say that about the Sasquatch. Since they could walk, they were walking around and understanding and living and connecting to nature. They do it every single minute of every day. That's their freaking life. There's no heart surgeon that is that devoted to heart surgery. It can't happen. It can't be done. It doesn't exist. And really understand the level of what I'm talking about. Everything about the Sasquatch is wilderness and nature. Do you understand that? Like, their whole, like, when we go out, we have a job that we have to get in order to make money. It's got nothing to do with wilderness or nature. You do things all the time that is not particularly connected to something else. As an example, like just with nature, there's nothing that the Sasquatch, their thriving, their livelihood, their homes, their survival, their sleeping, their awakening, their walking around, and everything is about nature. Do you understand that? Everything is about nature. They live off of nature. They thrive within nature. They never leave it. They don't take a vacation. Here I am in civilization, look at me. I'm in a room with a floor and a house with heating. I'm not in nature. There's no human being, even human beings, they have log cabin. Oh, I live out in nature. Yeah, but you live in a freaking cabin and you start fires, and it's all about technology. Do you understand that? You aged your wood and then put it in, and you're using an oven to cook with. Like, they have nothing. They have no tools. They thrive within nature. Are you starting to understand the level? When you go compete with them, their whole existence is top to bottom wilderness nature, period. They don't know anything else. And they love it. You could never drag them. They kicking and screaming. They would never go into a house, or they don't walk on asphalt. They don't like trails. All these things that are domesticated that we have, we follow trails. We like to wear shoes. We have clothing. We walk around with a gun. We have bear spray. I have glasses, or I need a hat to keep the sun out of my eyes. They have nothing. They are naked in nature, and it never stops, ever. They heal within nature. They thrive. They survive. They eat. They never crap in a toilet. They poop in nature. There's nothing at any moment in their life, do you understand, that is not nature? Is that getting through your head? And you're going to go verse an intelligent hominid that is also, understand that the importance of this. This is immensely important. Is us hominids, we teach our offspring, like, whole life. We're teaching them. They're always learning. Well, till they're 18, but even then they go out and they learn and they expand, right? They're young, so like an elk or a deer or a moose, they don't really teach very well. They teach by example. Like, a mother bear will teach its offspring for a couple years, and then it goes off on its own. But it's not as clear and transparent as the way hominids can teach, through communication, through decades of experience of teaching. It's another level better than what animals would teach, I would say. So through our communication, through our abilities to interact with one another, it's a very, very high level of teaching. The Sasquatch do that. They teach that. So now you're dealing with beings that have tens of thousands of wilderness years experience, thriving. No, they know so much. I could even imagine. Like, I literally have learned about 4 years ago. I learned that even young Sasquatch, like preteens, like an 11, 12-year-old Sasquatch, is vastly superior to me in nature. Vastly superior. That young little amazing individual, 11, 12 years old, maximum 11 years, minimum 10 years, probably 11 years old. I called him 11. He owned me out there. He was dominating me, and he taught me because I thought, man, I just got a young Sasquatch. I'm going to have some fun here. I'm gonna get up on him. No, no, you're not, because he is so many levels above me. So I'm hoping that I'm getting this through to you guys. The levels of you can't hunt and track and break these guys down. They play hide and seek with each other. They've been doing it for 10,000 years. They're the greatest trackers that have ever lived. You're not going to be able to verse these guys. It's not going to happen. So I make no apologies about it. So my friend is living with Bigfoot in the North Woods. That's a hell of a statement. Hey, Lone Wolf, I sure would like to hear more information. So if you wouldn't mind emailing me, send me an email, Lone Wolf. I'll give you a free photo. DiscoveringBigfoot@gmail.com. The movie is called Discovering Bigfoot. My name is Todd Standing. I am the man who started this whole Discovering Bigfoot process. DiscoveringBigfoot@gmail.com. I'd love to hear about it. So I make no bones about it. I would love to meet people that have better Sasquatch interaction knowledge than me. I will become their student. I will follow them. I will be respectful. There was a group of trackers. Let me talk about this for a second. So the whole Nordegg Bigfoot, the Survivorman Nordegg, it started with two brother trappers. These legendary men that had this incredible alleged knowledge of Sasquatch. For some reason, some goddamn bullshit, like woman pathetic soap opera started, and everybody got all whiny and bitchy and never got to meet them. But they're the ones that that really allegedly made that I was told they're the ones that were making this discovery. And I saw stuff in the trackways these guys were doing, and I saw evidence to substantiate their claims. And I literally got a message to them. I hope it got through them. I told them, I said, I know you have a dog. I'll clean the dog crap off your lawn for 5 years if you just help. Because they were doing stuff. They were getting interaction with Sasquatch. It was absolutely astonishing. What I saw in the trackway was so allegedly these guys. Well, I know these guys were trappers. I saw their traps, and apparently their bait that they were using, it was some special thing. They took them years to develop, and it would attract. They were mostly trapping pine martens. So, but the Sasquatch couldn't resist the bait, so it'd bust the pine marten thing open and eat the bait out of it. Right? They loved it. And I believe that may be true because I found so they had a really well hidden backcountry trail. It was the reason I found it is I went backcountry and hit this trail and I followed it out and I saw the way they had it all buried and hidden where you can't see it, which was brilliant. Um, but what I saw on the track was I saw their vehicle driving along and I saw the brakes hit on it. And so you see the vehicle stop and then it turns around. And I looked down, what I saw down the trackway, a Sasquatch walked out in front of him on the trail. You could see his tracks. And then he took a knee and he put his fist on the ground. So he bent down with a knee and a fist and he was looking at them. And then as he turned around, drove away, this Sasquatch ran after them, chased them. It's the trapper, obviously, and he probably had bait, and the Sasquatch wanted the bait. And I saw other things like that. So, but again, unfortunately, through this ridiculous, stupid saga, whiny little bitching, um, they made some excuses to not talk to me. Then I heard that they didn't like me for some reason, or whatever, and they liked Jeff Meldrum, and I tried to get the message out. It doesn't matter. You can talk to Jeff Meldrum. You could take me out of it. I have no ego about this. I just want the discovery to move forward, and they never did. So it was very upsetting to me. I don't like little whiny sagas. Probably at the end of the day, they're probably a couple of chumps, anyways. I mean, just come on, man up and have a freaking conversation with me face to face. Like, if you got a problem with me, and I'd like to talk to you respectfully, because I appreciate what you're doing in the discovery process, and it matters to me. So get over your personal whiny little bitchiness and have a man-to-man conversation with me. I'll meet you anywhere, anytime, any place. And I'm not threatening you. I'm there out of respect and appreciation for the success you're garnering for Sasquatch. If you want to tell me off, you want to be an asshole to me, I'm going to sit there and take it and walk away. I'm offering you nothing but peace. I'm offering you nothing but respect. I'd like to have a voice in this. I'd like to have a say. I'd like to not have him tell me what him said. It's just it's a little high school saga. And it really sucks because I know that those men had some greatness to bring back to this discovery process. And now they're xenomorphs and nothing of theirs will ever come out. And when they die, all the success that they were able to garner with Sasquatch dies with them into nothingness. So it's all for nothing. It's pathetic. I don't like it and it upsets me. So um, that's how that ended up. Paul Volcano. Tell all my friends to watch your videos and look at your photos. They're just so unbelievable. I try to share as much as possible. Appreciate that, Paul. And you'll get a lot of flack and stuff, but you're just doing good work. I'm the man who takes people out in the field and has them either live interact with or eyewitness to Sasquatch. I was just noting, out of the 11 expeditions last year, 9 of them had either a live interaction or an eyewitness accounting. Only 2 precipitated virtually nothing. So I had 2 that were, they didn't precipitate any live interactions or any eyewitness sightings. All the 9 other ones had tremendous, incredible success where the expeditioners went home amazing. So, and you know, I'll say this, of the 2 expeditions that didn't precipitate success, we had a great time. We saw great evidence. We worked hard and we did the best we could. And one of them, I understand vividly how we didn't have any success. So, yeah, just really happy. Oh, hey, I'm a full-time researcher. Only way you can donate money to me is becoming a Patreon follower right now. So, and that's all on discoveringbigfoot.org, I think. So, Lanita, hello. She calls me sweetie. You can call me sweetie. That's okay. Do you think? Do you have a lot of cryptids, grays also? I don't know what that means. You do have a lot of cryptids. What's a cryptid? You mean an unknown thing? Grays also. You're talking about my hairs? Yeah, maybe. It's true. Hello, Lanita from Alabama. So Lanita is in Alabama. I had awesome, amazing success. I had a wonderful time down in Alabama, and I look forward to going back someday. It's been quite a while. So my footage is some of the best there. So Expo British Columbia says my footage is some of the best out there. I'd love to see it. discoveringbigfoot@gmail.com. I would love it. Appreciate you and your success. Congratulations. We want to document all Sasquatch encounters. We do. Please share them with an experience. Detailed Bigfoot encounter at gmail.com. That's another place you can go to. 1 second. Tatiana. That's my daughter. Come here, please. I'd like to donate. Yeah, it's just on Patreon is the only thing I really have right now. I just so focused. Expeditions have been massive. You only gave me a little bit of water. Could I have more, please? Almost fill the glass. Thank you. I just need some more water. My throat hurts. Yeah, let me get that organized more, Derek, about donations and stuff. So don't worry about that stuff right now. Yeah, just Patreon. And I'm Todd Standing or Discovering Bigfoot on Patreon. You can just follow on Patreon. Todd, love your work. Thank you for that. Keep it up, my good man. Don't worry, I have no intentions. Thank you so much. Come here for a second.
Yeah.
Come say hi. You like to say hi?
Hi.
That's my little girl. Okay, just a quick hi. You're going to take over the whole show, I know. Close the door thoroughly. So, like I said, family, oh my God, matters so much. She is a wonderful gift in my life. And I that's what I gravitate towards people that prioritize family for my expeditioners and my colleagues and my friends. Family is just so important to me. Best made a wicked donation. That's correct. Oh, there it is. Patreon. Look at that. Royal, you're freaking amazing, dude. Best wicked donation. Yeah, it's Patreon. You just follow on Patreon. Well done, Royal. Thank you, my friend. And he says boom because the Sasquatch are actually called boom. That's what they call themselves. I think that's the most amazing name. It flows brilliantly with me. I didn't hear a boom all year. That sucks. When will Discovering Bigfoot Part 2? It's April. It's coming up. For sure. What's happened is, I've been talking about it a lot. It wasn't done because I just wasn't able to keep up. I just overwhelmed with all the crap that's been going on this year. But it's done. It's handed in. April is when it's coming out at the latest. Maybe even March, but it's coming out then. So when do you make all of the people that disappear in the national parks? What do you make of all the people that disappear in national parks? I will leave that to David Pilates. So that's his thing. I won't focus on bear attacks, disappearances. Uh, I'm not focused on anything that's violent or distressing. My energy won't go there. What about all the people that I do focus on are all the people that have had their lives saved by Sasquatch. Did you know that happens? Many different people have contacted me, lost in the wilderness, Sasquatch let him out. This human being right here has had his life saved at least 2 times by Sasquatch, where I would be freaking dead. I am alive by the grace and goodness of Sasquatch having significantly done a lot to save my ass at least 2 times. Probably honestly, probably five. Is it just two? One, just those 2 times. So 2 times I am vividly aware of, I would be freaking dead if it wasn't for Sasquatch. No, three. It's three. Yeah, there was that female grizzly bear incident. So 3 times they've saved my life. So that's what I focus on is the lives that they save. So you'll find people that have a tendency to focus on like bear attacks and moose gorings and I don't want to do that stuff. I no disrespect to people that do that. That's fine. That's their thing. It's not mine. I don't even want to do search and rescue anymore, so I just don't. Do Sasquatch bury their dead? Very likely, yes. They at least put them in a spot, I would say. So when people are in denial, they will rationalize anything to explain away Sasquatch. Why? Fear. They're afraid. Well, cognitive dissonance is a form of fear, isn't it? And that's what I like to refer to as they they don't want to. They're conservative in their thought process. And they fear change, right? Even more specifically, I'm agreeing with you, Royal. So, and it's a fear of change, fear of the unknown, fear of accepting an absolute miracle, right? Because it's a miracle that these one thing me and the skeptics can agree on. Let's at least go here. I know that they exist, and it is a freaking miracle that they exist. And a skeptic would say, if they say, I know they don't exist because it would be a miracle for them to exist. And see, that's where we're going to have common ground. It's a miracle both ways. Nobody can deny that. Even can anybody who knows they exist, even just by the evidence, say, oh, but they exist, but it's no big deal. No, it's a miracle. They exist and remain undiscovered by, in spite of the best efforts of some people and many others, not just me, thousands of others, right? So yeah, it's a miracle, one way or another. Even if you could say they don't exist and there's no chance they exist, it's kind of a miracle that there are literally 1 in 3 people in the United States that believe they are real or probably real, right? Isn't that a miracle? Like probably one in 6 people believe they or know they exist, like without a doubt. 1 in 6. That's a miracle if they don't exist, don't you think? So, hi Todd from Australia. So just hold on. Thank you, Australia. You have just made this an international program. Isn't that cool? People complain about the internet and how the negativity and stuff. I freaking love it. I learned so much from philosophy, from food, from weight training and wilderness and plants and animals. And I get to talk to people and do live shows with people all over the world. Like I am live in Australia and all over North America and Canada and probably other places in the world. And I just think that's amazing. I'll never take that miracle for granted. So, Rhino Nay Day 9506, only on the internet. Hi from G'day from Australia is what he meant to say. Quick question. Do you think the Sasquatch is a human type animal, sort of Neanderthals? Oh, well, they're their own species. I don't think I know. They're hominids. So on the genetic scale, it would go orangutan, gorilla, chimpanzee, human being, Sasquatch. So they're on that scale of primate, right? So, and they're the most human living species in the world by far. So we have that evidence and significance. Neanderthals are extinct. We have Neanderthal DNA in our blood. Some people more than others. But yeah, that's what I know. So, and I think that's pretty, it's a good place to start. I think it's a very solid place to have this knowledge for this discovery process. Royal Creation says, I agree, Lance. Uh, it, I call it the nightmare roar. Oh, what did Lance say? I've never seen one. My dad has though, but I've heard them plenty of times in Honey Island Swamp area on the MS-LA border. going back when I was a kid. That's fantastic. And you know, so this is N N Love W Jesus 7478. Only the internet. Very strange names. This happens a lot. Is you get people like this lady who says her dad has seen one. So let me explain something to you that don't know. Many times I've heard people come to me and say, "Well, I've never seen a Sasquatch," but I'll tell you something. My uncle, my dad, my grandpa, whatever, fill in the blank. Maybe my mother told me they're real, told me they've seen one, and that means they're real. And you say, well, why do you say that? Because this person, this friend, this parent, this brother, this sibling, this cousin, I've known them their whole lives, and they always tell the truth. And when they tell me something, I know they're telling the truth. And when they tell me that Sasquatch is real, I know they're real. Do you know how much respect I have for that? Do you know how much I admire that? So that blows me away. James Earl Jones called me. Here, you want to hear a story? I was on Coast to Coast AM for the first time. And James Earl Jones, the man, calls me after being on Coast to Coast. He called in Coast to Coast. When James Earl Jones calls you and he has that voice, you know it's him. He was Darth Vader. He did tons and tons of movies. I'm a huge fan of his. I always have been. I was never really sure why. Then he called me. He told me a story about when he was growing up. Uh, I think it was. I'm not sure if maybe it was his grandfather. He was growing up somewhere, and I think it was his grandpa heard that at school a boy had seen a Sasquatch, and James and other boys were ridiculing him and mocking him and laughing at him. So they had dinner that night. He said, "Let me tell you something, Todd." And I think it was his grandpa. Don't quote me on that. He said, when my grandpa talked, he walked on water. He has that voice, right? He walked on water. He sat us down at the table and he looked specifically at me and the rest of the family. And he said, "You don't mock that boy because I've seen a Sasquatch and Sasquatch is real. And I'm telling you something, boy. When you grow up and someone mocks the reality of seeing a Sasquatch, they did that to me. And I'm telling you, if you love your grandpa, you'll support those people and you'll make sure and help them tell the world the truth. Sasquatch is real. They're real, and that's how it's going to be from now on." And James said, "And since then, I have always known Sasquatch is real." Can you believe that? Isn't that amazing? And that's why he says, "And that's why I'm calling you." Why were you calling me? Because my grandpa said to help people that are out there telling the truth about Sasquatch. So if you need something, I'm here for you. And I had his phone number for years until he passed away. I got to talk to him a couple times. So yeah, I thought that was amazing. And so I have so much respect for people. It's almost always family. My dad, my uncle, my brother, someone that they love and care about saw a Sasquatch, and then they just know it. And to me, that is beautiful harmony, beautiful integrity. Like to know that there are people out there, there are families out there that have so much respect for one another. Someone will say Sasquatch is real, I've seen it. And the family will support them and say, yes, Sasquatch is real because dad says so, grandpa says so, my brother says so. And I think that is one of the most beautiful, wonderful things. And I don't know why, but I just do. I think it's beautiful. I respect people as soon. When James Earl Jones told me that his grandfather, when he spoke, he walked on water. You know, what a beautiful reference. When Jeff Meldrum spoke to me, he walked on water. When John Bennernagel spoke to me, he walked on water. When Les Stroud speaks to me, Survivor Man, he walks on water. All those men, and I can talk about them because they've been public with their support of the reality of this discovery process. All the times I've ever spoken with those great men, all the times I've had massive amounts of dealing with them. I'm talking like I spent nights out in the wilderness alone with these men and much more beyond that, out delving and doing things in society. I've had a lot of dealings with these three men. And I'll tell you, right across the board, I have never, ever heard those men exaggerate. They tell exactly the truth. They are men of absolute integrity. That's why it breaks my heart that two of them are gone. I'm glad Survivor Man's doing very well. And Survivor Man's a man like that. Survivor Man, that man, he actually pisses me off because if he catches a 12-inch fish, he'll say 10. That drives me nuts. At least age 12. Nope. Gotta under promise and over deliver everything. Like and as much as I admire and respect that, it does piss me off. They were in the show that we just as an example, in the show that I did with Survivor Man, you hear those pops out in the bush, right? And I said, well, you can't hardly hear it. Like, just turn up the sound. He goes, I can't turn up the sound. That's lying. I'm like, it's not lying. All you got to do is like, just keep the sound wave the same. And right when that pop happens, just turn it up for a second. And I say it's telling the truth because now they can hear what I could hear. You're taking an authentic, real sound and just allowing people to experience it the way we did because we're hearing things better than the camera mic. And he wouldn't do it. He refuses to because that's the way it's recorded and we don't manipulate anything. It's raw and as it is. So, respect to him for his position. I agree with it, but it did tick me off. They wouldn't turn the audio up a little bit so people could hear it better. So, oh my God, I'm over the hour. Holy crap, I've been having so much fun on this show. Let's just do one more question. Big Brick 84. Hey, Todd, what's it take on the Sierra sounds? The whoops and stuff are real. And I don't know about the other stuff. Oh my God, look at all these questions. Holy crap. I'm shooting down here way to the bottom. Let's see. Uh, Philip Kaluzin, you probably exist. Just remember how many restricted forest areas that nobody visits. That's not really a question. It's a statement. Julie, because of my daughter's encounter, I became a knower. Isn't that cool? I didn't know that, Julie. It's because of Julie's daughter's encounter, she became a knower. That's just what I was talking about. I've had 5 encounters, 2 sightings, and 3 so many. Let me tell you guys something. On this live show, we've had what? Is it an understatement to say 100 people come on the live show and say, I had all these encounters and all this stuff? You know how many people have actually emailed me after? I think 3 out of probably 100 people. If you don't mind, Pamela Lawson Jones, can you send us an email? I really would like to hear about it. And if I'm not going to do it, I'll send it off to Andy or James or somebody. I'll send it off. Please send us an email. So one more question. I'm way over on the time. I just had so much fun on the show today. My dad is a big man over 6 feet, and I've only ever seen him shaken up a few times in his life. And he was shaken up and scared the night when went hunting and came home after telling us about a Sasquatch. So now, uh, and love W Jesus. Now you're adding another layer of wow, right? Of integrity that your dad doesn't do that. Your dad's never experienced that. Your dad wouldn't have come home and felt like that. Not only did your dad tell the truth, but you could see that he was shaken. So respect. I guess that was kind of the motif of this whole show. You got to see my beautiful daughter. I love her so much, and understand how the integrity of family and the people we love has led many of us to come here. Julie, uh, love W Jesus, and I'm sure many more people are involved in this because of a loved one of some kind. And I think that's a wonderful. Never did that on this show before, so got to talk about James Earl Jones. I don't think I've ever talked about that publicly. So yeah, lots of great stuff. Thank you all very much for tuning in. There should be a show tomorrow on YouTube. If not, it'll be on Friday. I'm supposed to do Throwback Thursday. I am very ill. I have massive amounts of work to do. This is not my normal voice. I'm a little off today. I have a legitimate cold that my daughter brought home for me. But yeah, lots of work to do. Tremendous success we're having. The discovery of Bigfoot is happening, and greatly because of the support of people like you and myself to this incredible discovery that we're very passionate about. So much gratitude for you all for tuning in today. Thank you very much. Bye for now.